Sansu Show. It's another hump day, courtesy of Viva, PHLV Radio, Viva Las Vegas. Oh my God, I'm trying to be happy today. As you know, it's a sad day for all of us who voted for our Vice President Kamala Harris. Congratulations to the Trump supporters. And I hope we all unite. I hope that we can work together and for the sake of our country. We need to really, work as one. As Americans. That they, the all the ugliness has to be in the back burner. It has to be in the back burner. So I have to make this happy face. Welcome again, my online family and friends. I hope you're okay. Um, Thank you for being with me every Wednesday night. But another sad one is we just lost an amazing musician, Mr. Quincy Jones. He will be forever be with us in history. He was announced on November 3, last today's the 6th, last Sunday that he passed away. And he was an amazing, really, he was one and only. I don't think no one can ever, duplicate what he succeeded in his life. He had, could you imagine, he won 20 Grammy Awards. 20 Grammy Awards. That's just a lot to say. He was very delightful. He was very amazing musician, composer, producer, all you can think of. He was a goat. He was a goat. You know, um, his legacy was he left behind with 7 children, and he reported actually made $500 million in fortune. $500 million. Could you imagine how many things you can buy in $500 million? Mr. Quincy Jones is a decorated figure within the music and the entertainment industry, with accolades include, as I said, I have to correct myself, 28 Grammy Awards and several legendary works. It includes The Wiz, as serving executive producer of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, which starred Will Smith. Um, and he paired, now this one is an amazing long time collaboration with Michael Jackson. He produced Thriller, one of the greatest album collaboration. Thriller has been around every year. That's all you hear on Halloween is the Thriller song, and also Off the Wall. He also produced that, and he was with Frank Sinatra. My God, way, way, way back with Ray Charles. All this amazing Tina Turner, Stevie Wonder, James Brown, Aretha Franklin. Oh my God, all these amazing talents, amazing performers that he collaborated with. And he did 40 films. And one of them is The Color Purple. You know, Whew, the man, he was just busy. He was busy, 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 busy. And also in the heat of the night. I don't know if you remember that song. That movie. And also the Cold Blood. He did that also. And Macadina Gold. And also Austin Power theme song. I didn't know he did that. He composed that. you know, um, he was, well, as I said, he was one and only. And before he passed away, on his autobiography, he was quoted that music was the one thing living I could control. It was the one world that offered me freedom. I didn't have to search for answers. The answers lay on further that the bell of my trumpet and my pencil, scrolled pencil scores. Music made me full, strong, popular, self-reliant, and cool. So that was his word from his autobiography, and he lived up to it. He was amazing, and I said will never be duplicated. So, Mr. Jones, thank you so much for your contribution to the music industry, to the film industry, for the whole entertainment industry. You know, may God's perpetual light shine upon you, and may you rest in peace. We love you. Thank you again. And now, happy notes. Let's talk about my girls, my sisters in Corsilio. This lady is my holy family. Oh my God. I haven't seen them for almost 2 years, and I saw them last weekend. Oh my God. We just hang out and have fun. Not just us, but also the Oakland Diocese Corsilio group. They have this once a year. And I said, well, I have to see my sisters. I haven't seen them for so long. So, kiss, kiss to all of you. And I hope you're watching today. I can't name all of you, because if I miss somebody, you'll be like, Sansu forgot about me. So I just would say, I love you, ladies. I love you, sisters. And we have to keep going. We have to really keep our togetherness, our sisterhood, because I miss that. I know we always text and message and all that, but to be in person again, to see each other again, it's just totally different. So we need to do that again one more time. I know, Holy Family, thank you, love you, ladies. Okay, now, in order for me to kind of lift up today, because it was, I mean, I had a hard time. I have to be honest with you, my brothers and sisters. I had a hard time accepting it for a while. But as I said, we have to move on. So when I was listening and watching these kids, I featured them in my podcast before. And some people ask me, Sensu, when you going to put a video back again? I love these kids. These kids are from Uganda. And they're so popular now with their singing, we're singing and dancing and comedy and stuff like that. These kids are amazing. So before I introduce my guest tonight, check out the video of Masaka kids from Africana, from Uganda. Check it out.
My friend. and me can make life better. Beautiful world when we come together. I look to you in the darkest hour. I look to you in the time of trouble. You bring me hope and wash my tears away. I look to you, my friend. You the meaning of love. I look to you in the darkest hour. I look to you in the time of trouble. You bring me hope and wash my tears away. I look to you, my friend. You the meaning of love.
Hi, I look to you. In my deepest hour, look to you. Oh my God, they are so cute. See how they make me laugh. I hope it made you laugh, you guys. This kid, they're so kitty pie. You know, I hope one day I will meet them, you know. Well, that's a long trip though to Uganda. I heard it takes like 24 hours to go to Africa. Whew, that's longer than going to the Philippines. Well, I think I might stick with the Aita tribe right now because it's only 13-hour flight, not 24 hours. But one of these days I will see them. I need to see them and really dance with them and sing with them and congratulate them because they really they lift us up. I mean, no, they lift me up too. I hope they lift you. They lift you too, also. But this time I'm so excited because I met her. My guest, I met her that's a coincidence at the festival in San Francisco. It's a Filipino. This is the very first Filipino American festival that that happened this year in Alameda County, in Alameda itself. And so it was just weird, you know, and we just had that connection. So I really have to ask her, and she asked me also to go to her school, and we'll talk about it. But let me introduce you. She served as a capacities managing student disputes for Laney College first, and then taking on the role as financial aid supervisor at Merritt College. Maria, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say the name yet. Her position is a student personal services specialist, allowed the opportunity to spread head outreach and recruitment for all four campus, working with Peralta District and establishing the foundation for many of the events Peralta represents. So please help me welcome. She's from Merritt College in Oakland, and she's a Filipino American historian educator, Miss Maria Spencer. Hi, Maria.
Hello. Thank you for having
How
me
you
on.
doing? And I was gonna introduce you with all your bio, but your bio is so long. You accomplished a lot, you know, and you're only 25.
Yeah, right.
That's what I heard. Well, welcome to the Sansu Show, and thank you for accepting my invitation. You know, I was so excited because there's a lot of things we can talk about, especially education. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, where you're from, where you're born and raised, and stuff like that.
So I'm second generation Filipino American, born and raised in Oakland in the 60s, and attended Oakland public schools, some private schools, and ended up graduating from Oakland Tech, which is a local public high school, and then going to work, starting out in trade schools and trying to figure out like what I wanted to do. I don't think anybody really knows what they want to do when they're young like that. So you dabble into different experiences, right, to get the skills down. And so that's what I did. And so going to trade school, being a cosmetologist, and realizing, it wasn't for me. I was allergic to the chemicals. And so you change your field again, right? Transition into something else. I think our ancestors before us really stuck to one job. Whereas
Yes.
this generation, we have multiple roles. We wear multiple hats and experience
Yes.
things, right?
Uh-huh.
Kind of figure out like, is that our niche? And then from there, I realized it's like, trying out other fields. So I got married and had children, but the field didn't stick because really looking at income, and it's so expensive to live in Oakland, right? In the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're
Yeah.
always looking for better paying jobs with more benefits, and that leads to education, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
working in nonprofit organizations, and you saw the bio, it was like jumping from one interest to another until I realized you tap out, like you
Mm-hmm.
bottom out on like your skill set and salary pay, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
so what comes with that is like you have to think back. It's like you have to exhaust everything, go on unemployment before you realize I better go back to school. I better get something, with some degree, and maybe that's going to open the pathways, the experiences. And I think this is what I bring to the students today is my past experience and how to avoid, running into all these different types of barriers, and helping them. So I went from a zero degree with just skills to, going as far as my doctorate degree. And I didn't finish defending the dissertation due to COVID and cost, right? It's just expensive. But I stayed with Peralta for, starting out as a student worker first, and and bringing my skill set. And as I finished school, I circled back to Peralta because I was already in the system, and then they offered me positions, and so I just moved up to as far as I can go, and still climbing. Right? I think I'm not done. I think teaching is probably my next level of interest. So that's how far it got me, raising a family and then
Mm-hmm.
marrying American Indian. And so we have our children are mixed, right? We have two
Mm-hmm.
cultures that we blend together, our Filipino side and then our American Indian side. And so very unique and different, but some similarities at the same time, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that's the beauty of diversity, you know,
Yes.
in our society today is the blended families. And, and I'm seeing that today more and more on our campus, you know,
Yes.
we're in Oakland.
Yeah, it's nice to see that, but it doesn't still reflect on the community because we're still divided. I don't know how is it that we're so divided, not just in politics side, but in the religion side or the community side itself. You know, look like there's a gap there somewhere. And this election really showed how much we're still divided, in this country. And it's good to see a lot of mixed families, but I still don't understand this discrimination and prejudice and thing. I just still don't understand that, why it still exists. Because if you think about it, United States is considered more like a united nation. Every walks of life. I mean, everyone that you can think of, any race you can think of, they're already here, whether you like it or not. They're already here. So why is it that racism is still high? I mean, is it you being in school? How is the racism really affects to a lot of the students?
They have to, they live with it every day, and
Yeah.
so you're either, there's really no middle ground anymore. You're either
Mm-hmm.
super poor or you are at a survival rate where you just
Mm-hmm.
live paycheck to paycheck, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so basically we're really we're fighting with each other to compete with each other so that we could
Mm-hmm.
ahead of each other, right? Ahead of the game. And you just have to look at the how fast we're moving in terms of technology,
Mm-hmm.
artificial intelligence, and there's always going to be a group of people who don't meet those standards of like higher education. So they're
Yeah.
always going to be on the bottom level, and that shouldn't be because we always want to look at like diversity, equity, inclusion, and and seeing how everybody can kind of level out. But it doesn't seem like our paychecks are leveling out because even though we're getting these top degrees, we're still fighting for equal pay, or at least pay that, meets the standard of your educational level of learning, right? And that's not always the case, because even today, women are still trying to be equal to men,
Mm-hmm.
same degree, doing the same job, but yet they still get more pay. So that's odd. So students, they're really not seeing it. I think they're blind by it because of all of the things that they're exposed to environmentally.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. And plus, I mean, I didn't think this country as the way that I saw it this morning. I mean, the result of the election, it's just that this country is still not ready to have a woman president. You know, women in this country is still number two. We can never be number one. You know, that's one thing we have to really climb. And maybe one of these days, maybe 100 years from now. It's sad because other countries already have female president. They have presters and everything. But I know what's wrong with our country that we just can't face the fact a woman to be the queen, the superior, the person that will manage this country. It's still hard for everyone to accept that. But for you being a teacher and an educator, what is it? Do you teach like the historical part of the Filipinos, the Filipino American side in the school? Do you teach them or?
So so I do that on my side jobs, like my
Mhm.
extracurricular fun,
Yeah.
activities, not kind of tied to my job itself, because my
Mhm.
job is really to get people into the classroom, into the
Mhm.
learning environment where
Uh-huh.
they don't necessarily see themselves at. Uh,
Yeah.
and so my job is to, I want to say, market it to show them that actually this is where you belong.
Mhm.
So the times that I spent teaching it is when I actually host events. That's when I'm able
Oh,
to
okay.
bring people on and design the agenda and the platform and what we want to, what the message is to get out there. And then, just showcasing my family's lineage and history. And so, and then sharing that information with other folks on social media when I
Mhm.
can. But yeah, so my primary job is really, working with those, like I said, that will necessarily right after high school will not go to
Mhm.
higher education, right?
Mhm. You're
So,
right. Right. But education is very important because this, I mean, I don't know because I was born and raised in the Philippines, but it seems like the educational system in this country is still behind compared to other countries like India, when it comes to technology and some other part like spelling and how can we improve? I mean, I know you're not in one of the teachers, but how can you encourage a lot of the universities or um, to put more emphasis into that? Because we do have a lot of graduates that can't even spell, and that's pretty sad.
well,
You know.
interesting that's a good point you made in terms of like, how can we change it? Because,
Hmm.
because the other countries actually invest in their people.
Yes.
When you think about it, they really put, the foundation of the people first. And so when they do that, they're going to like ensure that the educational systems are more than just standard, they're high standards, right? They
Mhm.
set the bar. Now it's interesting when we talk about community college versus universities, and like I said, not everybody's going to have an equal footing to apply to some of these top universities. They really have to, at least today, I understand the
Mhm.
GPA, in order for you to apply to get in, to be even considered as a student, a prospective student, you have to at least have a 4.1,
Whoa. Wow.
4.5. And this is coming from transfer status. So
Mhm.
Community college is a 2-year program for a Associate of Arts, Associate of Science degree, 2 years or a certificate to transfer. Now, students can transfer halfway at 30 units, but then they're still going in as a sophomore. They're not even completing the first degree. The difference is cost. So it's cheaper to go to a community college versus a university starting out, especially if you're a low income student.
Yes.
Majority of the students that we serve today do not have that type of money to be able to just, I'm going to pay this entire school semester. For one semester at a university or a CSU, it's like $30,000.
Wow.
Pretty expensive.
Wow.
I mean, if
Yes.
you're talking about cost of living, right?
Yeah.
Books, essentials, computers, daily
Yes.
expenses.
Yes. And student loans right now, the interest rate is really high too for them to pay back, and the 4-year college students right now, that's why most of them actually have a job. They go to work so that they can pay a little bit of what the expenses they have in order to accomplish their college degrees. And because not everyone is, that they can afford their rich parents,
Yeah, and
and
we have quite a few schools in the Bay Area that are
Mhm.
really encouraging their students to go ahead and try to apply.
Mhm.
But it's really a big letdown when they can't. But I always recommend students when I met with 40 high school juniors today,
Oh,
and we spoke about, what is your game plan? Like, how do you
mhm.
plan on getting there after high school? And we're how many of them? I said, raise your hand. How many of you are thinking about going into higher education? And a lot of them raised their hand, but they
Mhm.
didn't really know how they were going to get there in terms of, like, what does it take, in terms of like the application process. So there's a lot of concerns for them, especially if their parents are not, English is not their first language, so
Yes.
they don't know the application process, what the requirements are, what the prerequisites are. In fact, the students are translating for their parents in some cases, right? But the sad thing about the whole educational thing is sometimes it's not attainable because they really are supporting their families. It's like
Mhm.
right after high school, you're going to have to go get a job right away. It's not
Mhm.
like, oh, we're going to give you a full ride. Us as parents, we're going to just pay for your whole tuition.
Yeah.
That's not the case for most of us brown and black skinned children,
Yes.
right?
Yes. It's not easy, and especially oh, you know what? I just want to thank you first of all, before I forget, for inviting me to your school. That was amazing. This is my first time doing a presentation about the Aita tribes, because normally we just send out, videos, or, but in person. Unfortunately, the video didn't show. Make it happen this time, but a documentary. But it's just the presentation itself, and thank you for guiding me about it. As I said, it's my very first time, and thank you for accepting. And I just want to thank the Merit College for, you know, inviting me. And I hope they learned something about the Aita tribe. And you being a historian, educator, what did you learn about the indigenous people in the Philippines?
That they're really proud people of their culture.
Mhm.
Number one, that they know their identity. They
Yes.
speak their language. They know their traditions, and although they don't believe that they're like poor, in a sense, because in other people looking at them from our point of view or viewpoint, we're going to think
Mhm.
that, wow, they're so poor. They don't have running water and they don't have this, their clothing and whatnot. But the reality of it is that we're actually poor because we don't have what they have in terms of that culture, right? And so that
Yeah.
engagement, the language, and
Mhm.
traditions, and so we're missing out on that side too. So
Mhm.
that's what I learned from you, kind of showcasing like who they are as a people and, the love for their country. Whereas here, they really don't know what their country is. Like we just got over the election thing and people are still, thinking about the dark ages, like going
Mhm.
backwards instead of forwards, like
Yes.
and we're just kind of regurgitating what happened. But
Mhm.
women's rights, for instance, we're about to
Mhm.
lose our right to be able to choose and vote, and so that's going backwards instead of forwards.
And that's what one of the things that I was sad about, because especially the young women, that will be suffering from this election because
Mhm.
their rights is being taken away, to make a decision on their own bodies. And that was in the 1940s, 50s, 60s. Looked like we were reliving those years. And how okay, for me being born and raised in the Philippines, I've seen when I was young, I was supposed to be taken away from one of the itas because they thought I belonged to one of them, and because I was in the whole community, and so there was like, because when I said that, in my presentation, I think I mentioned that, and the faces of the audience is like, they just really don't understand that the Aitas are the very first Filipinos. If you think about it, they're the original Filipinos, because they were the one that discovered the Philippine island, graded there, and it just kind of, mixed. So Filipinos are so mixed. And so, some of them really approached to me and says, "Oh, Sansu, I didn't know that the original people are from Africa." They migrated and stuff like that. And so for you, how can you expand what I open to the university? I mean, are you just teach Filipino American history or do you teach also other history, like the American Native Americans?
We have an ethnic studies department, and so under
Uh-huh.
ethnic studies, it covers all cultures. So
Uh-huh.
Latin American component, American
Mm-hmm.
Indian component, African American component, and so
Mm-hmm.
they blend in different. It depends on the professor. What they want to teach that year. It's just like having a standard course, a general ed, like history 7B, which is American history. But with the under the it would be under the ethnic studies
Studies.
section that would cover the
Mm-hmm.
Filipinos in depth. In fact, I believe it was Attorney General Rob Bonta that spearheaded getting Filipino history into the teachings at the K through 12 recently.
Wow.
It hasn't been that long, but he was the one that really championed that. Getting that education into the classrooms about, because we are part of American history. The
Mm-hmm.
Filipinos that came over. So, and that was part of the whole reason why I chose to go ahead and have an event, two events in the month of October for Filipino History Month, because I
History.
understand Filipino, I think it's historical history. There's History Month and Historical Month, right?
Yes, it is. It is. It's history month. And also, have you been to the Philippines?
I
At
have,
all? I
yes.
mean, recently or?
Not recently, I want to say about 6 years ago. And so, we went as a delegation with the Sister
Oh,
City organization out of Alameda. And that was spearheaded by Miss Cynthia Bonta and her organization. So it was a really good experience. I think we collaborated to share, what we have to offer in the United States, and then bringing it to, and we actually had representatives from Dumaguete come over to Alameda. So their governor and their tourism reps and their marketing and whoever was representing them at the time, we did the same thing. So it was an exchange of information and how we can kind of collaborate in the future. So that's what took place. I learned a lot though, because I never been, to where my dad's originally from, which is a local sir, and Luzon, and I believe the Visayan the Fasayan Islands, I believe. So it's a little.
But your mom is from where?
She, I'm thinking she's from Luzon also, but she was born and raised in Kauai, which is the
Oh.
Hawaiian Islands. So that's where she ended up growing up, going to school, and then she left to go to nursing school,
Mhm.
Missouri, and got her degree as a nurse there. And then, I guess they met my dad somehow. They got connected. So it's like a very long story,
Yeah, but it's so weird because I'm surprised she didn't, ask you to be a nurse also because a lot of Filipina nurses' mom they always encourage their kids to follow their footsteps.
Actually, it was encouraged. I did go into the medical field very brief, and it was as a medical assistant. But then I did labor and delivery for a very short
Oh.
period of time. So it was a doula support for some of the four hospitals in the Bay Area. But realized that it's like, okay, there's more to it than this. So that was a little stopover too. So yeah, it was in interesting times, when you're trying to figure out what do I want to do when I grow up.
Yeah. So, because since you said you're married to a Native American, right? So, how do you talk about your history, your heritage? Do you teach him your heritage, and he teach you his
Well,
heritage?
I went to his family home, where he was raised and grew up and seen the difference. Now, his family is part of the actual original Relocation Act of the American Indians when the government uh, gave them an option to leave the reservation for a better life, right? Because
Mhm.
they were conquered also, just like the Philippines by Spain,
Mhm.
right? So they
Mhm.
were separated from their original lands and put in boarding schools. So I learned all of that
Oh
from
wow.
family and everything, and because his father spoke fluent Navajo and the mother spoke fluent Pueblo, so they're two different tribes. So he's born of, although he's full blooded, he's from two different tribes. So
Oh my God.
they're Navajo and Laguna Pueblo. And so
Wow.
then I went there, and he also went with me to the Philippines. So, I knew a lot growing up about the culture, the
Uh-huh.
tradition. Although my dad didn't allow us to speak the language because of the discrimination
Oh
in
wow.
a period of time. It was very there's a famous poster that was printed and it was sold in Sacramento, and it said on the bottom, "Welcome to America." But the black and white shot above that saying said positively no Filipinos allowed.
Whoa.
It was very I mean, it was like shocking. Like, it's like, yeah, Filipinos came over here for that dream, right? Of
Mhm.
getting a better life, providing,
Like everybody else.
yeah, just like any other American, right? They're coming
Mhm.
to the United States for that, only to find out that they came in the first wave. My grandfather was first wave of, cicadas. Then the
Mhm.
second wave, my dad was part of the second wave in the sugarcane plantations. So the beauty and the irony of it all is that in order for Filipinos coming over to gain citizenship, they had the option to go to war. That was World War II, I believe.
Oh.
And so they all, they chose, and then right away, they didn't get it until they actually finished their service. And then they
Mhm.
were given their naturalization, is what it was. And so that's how we were able to stay where we were at. Uh,
Mhm.
my dad rooted in, but uh, afterwards, they didn't really give them jobs or
Mhm.
anything after the service, right? So Filipino
Yeah.
people, Filipino American people, history wise, were told to, okay, now you got to make it on your own. You have to figure it out. And although he
Mhm.
didn't have like a high level of education, he had some education, but he had to strive for that. And um, so whatever money he saved up, he put himself through school for aviation, And he became one of the, only pilots to, dust crop the fields of Sacramento. And this is when the period of Cesar Chavez and Larry Itliong, the movement with the farmlands out there and stuff and the union challenges. So he was part of that scene. And then there's another piece of just trying to just find whatever job. So, Filipinos were either short order cooks, they were maids, they're, attendants. They really never, dishwashers, whatever they had to do that was the lowest level paying job, right?
Yes.
That's all they were given, pretty much.
Wow.
They survived, right? We're here.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that, because those are the things that a lot of younger generation don't realize, the history of the Filipinos here in the United States. I mean, we can hear sometimes the education in the Philippines, but not here in the US. And that's why I asked some of these questions, because I want to continue the education and to educate a lot of the young generations, about different race, different culture. And thank you so much for sharing. And let's take a break, and then we'll be right back and continue on, and we'll do a lighter note.
Okay, sounds like fun.
Okay. So see you later.
Okay.
Po, si Orlino de la Cruz ay kapitan po ng Patal Pinto sa Pinatubo. Nagpapasalamat po ako sa Aita Tribe Foundation. Nagpapasalamat po ako uli sa mga bigay nyo po. Dito po ay lumiwanag na po ang namin po, community namin po. Nuulit ko lang po, nagpapasalamat ako sa inyo po. Ito po. Ay, mas pasalamat kami po sa nagtutulong sa amin po sa Aita Foundation po. Ngayon lang po kami ng ilaw na maliwanag po dito sa Patal Pinto po. Thank you po.
Ito po yung mga kasama namin, nag-install ng solar dito sa sitio. Dayday. Ayan si Conchal. Ayan si Joseph. Si Goryo. Si Commander Aka. Ito si Kapitan. Ayan si Pangko. Ayan si Ate Parina. Ayan ang cooker namin, no, si Ate Parina. Ayan, no. Dito kami sa Sitio Dayday. Ayan, no. Dayday pala yung Sitio Dayday. Ayun. Dito.
Bilala ko yata.
Dito po kami natulog. Super lamig, parang nasa Tagaytay. Ayan.
Welcome back, you guys. I hope you enjoyed that video that we have about the Aita tribes in Pampanga, Tarlac, Zambales. That was one of the projects that we provided to them. We provided them a solar, besides the water catchment, water tank, and also for the toilets. And just, to remind you, please, any $1, $2 donation is welcome. You just go to our aitatribes.org, and you can donate anything. Because in the Philippines, a dollar goes a long way. And now let me bring back my guest, Miss Maria Spencer. Hi, Maria. Welcome back. I just have to explain that. Well, we're gonna do a lighter note, because I think we educated the people enough. They said, God, they're so serious. Now we're gonna do our fun thing. Okay. I mentioned to you that I want to ask you some questions, on the spot. You never heard any of these questions. Okay. The first one is your least favorite vegetable.
Lima beans.
Lima beans. Correct with that. I don't like lima beans either. Why you don't like it?
I don't know. Ever since I was a child, it was just slimy, and I just couldn't digest it.
Okay, the next one is, which one do you like, adobo or pancit?
Gosh, that's a hard one. I'm gonna say adobo.
Adobo. Me too. I don't know why. Every time I go to a Filipino party, it's always like, "Do you have adobo?"
Mhm.
Before I go to the pancit side. Okay, chicken or pork adobo.
I like them together.
I like them too. Are you a December baby?
January,
Oh, January. Well, you're Capricorn. I,
Aquarian,
oh,
Aquarius.
Aquarian. Oh, okay. Because we have the same like. Wait a minute. You must be Capricorn because I'm a Capricorn. Okay. Describe yourself in 5 words.
Well, I never describe myself. I want to say I'm funny. That I'm creative, like crafty, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm curious by nature, and I love entertainment.
That's it.
Yep.
I know it's weird to describe yourself.
Mhm.
That is good. Okay, now, what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Today or yesterday? No, I'm just kidding. I like mango,
Which one you like?
mango,
Oh,
mango.
mango. Yes. See, you must be Capricorn because we have the same likes. What's wrong with this? You know, we have the connection there. Okay, my least thing. Okay, if you have a chance to travel on your one of your bucket list, which country or place that you dreamed of that you really want to be, that you never visited before?
Ooh, probably Egypt.
Egypt. Whoa. Why? Wait, Egypt.
You know, I just think it's like amazing that, I think there's some artificial intelligence over there because I don't think the people
The
could have
pyramid?
built those pyramids by themselves. So, and then, their technology is amazing, right? Like how did they
Yes,
do
I know. Well, yeah, see, we might have a connection because I'm thinking the same thing. How could these people build the pyramid? I mean, it was so perfect. I mean, there's no way the slaves did those. I mean, and what do you think? The aliens did it?
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, because I don't know, they have all these ideas, engineers,
Uh-huh,
figured out how they did it
uh-huh.
with scaffolding but apparently a lot of people died building the pyramids. But
Oh my God.
I mean, if I were to
Yes.
see it in person, because of their culture and they were kind of they had their slaves and their poor people and everything, and
Hmm.
then the gods, they're gods. So I was just so interested to know more about the people.
Yes, and it's just unbelievable. All those pharaohs and all of that. Do they still exist? I don't
Queens,
think so. No?
the queens and the kings, and then
Kings and the kings.
and they had medicine people there too.
Yes.
Finding
But
more and more about them. Because
yes.
their women were beautiful. Their hair, they're the ones that came out with the eyeliner, I think.
I know. Like, look at Elizabeth Taylor in the movie with that eyebrow. I don't think the pharaohs or whatever the queen looked like that though. And that's Hollywood, but probably close to it. How did he make the makeup? The eyebrows, the shadows. Where did he get those ideas from? To put
Exactly.
little mark black thing underneath their eyes to make it bigger. Isn't
Yes,
that weird?
yeah.
Think about it.
Because
How
if
did he learn?
you look at their
I
tombs are very elaborate, right? On the outside,
know.
like the face and the gold and the paint itself, was
Yes.
really detailed. So I just thinking that's why I think there was more advanced the uh, of what they hold and all
Hmm.
of that stuff.
I mean, more interested about the women with makeup. I don't know how they come up with
I know, I
I
know.
understand with their gold, but it's just how did they make their faces? And they have that also online about those foundations that you can make you younger from Egypt and stuff like that. I heard they're for real, but they're really expensive. But to make to keep your beauty forever, there's no forever really. When you hit certain age, forget it. Surgery probably can help you with it.
That's a natural course of our lives, you know.
I know. But one thing though, my mom was 83 and she didn't have no wrinkles when she passed away at the age of 83. Yeah, I think it's a Filipino thing, because it's a mixture
Possibly.
of Filipino and black and everything. That pigmentation, it's very, very strong.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the lighter you are, easier for you to get wrinkles. That's what I thought.
Your pigment.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's gonna be a long way for me to get wrinkles.
So where are
I
they?
probably have
Right.
100. Well, thank you. Would you like to give a shout out to your family and friends, your kids and
I
husband?
would. It's like just saying hello to all my family and friends who came out and listened. Or, for those that I've never met before, it's just like, I hope you continue watching the Sansu Show because she brings so
Oh,
much information to you. And so I just want to thank everybody for allowing me for the time to come and share some stories and history and for you to get to know me. So, yeah, shout out to everybody.
oh, thank you. And would you like to give a shout out to the Merit College students, or
Yeah,
or to invite
they're
everyone?
always on my thoughts, always. Every day you wake up, you're ready for them. But let's give it up for the student, staff, faculty, and supporters of Merritt College team that keep it going. Because it's gonna get rough. We're gonna have some
Yeah.
rough times ahead of us, but we got to figure it out. But at least we're in for the good fight. There's a difference,
Yes.
bad fight and a good fight. So
Yes.
good fight.
Thank you so much, Maria. Thank you for gracing us tonight and for accepting my invitation. And we're gonna talk some more, because there's a lot of things to talk about education. One of these days we're probably gonna do it in person. You never know. We
Yeah.
can invite some of your colleagues and talk about the school and the educational part of it, and continue success. And thank you for educating a lot of the young generation when it comes to Filipino culture, the historical culture of it. And hope to see you soon.
All
God
right.
bless you and
Thank you
take
so
care.
much. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Sansu. It's for you, Sansu Show. The Sansu Show. Sansu. Take a look, it's for you, it's from your point of view. Look into Sansu.
Hi, guys. I hope you enjoyed our show tonight. I hope you learned something from the Filipino American historical educator, Miss Maria Spencer. I really want to thank her for educating us. And also, I just want to thank you, my online family and friends, for being there with me. You always lift me up. Because of you, I'm okay. I was depressed for a while, but now I'm okay. I have to move on. We have to move on. All of us have to move on, and I just better of this country. My God, Jesus. I really need you, Jesus. So I just want to thank PHLV Radio, Viva Las Vegas. Headed by Johan Sison. Thank you, Johan, for your patience and everything. And sorry that we started late because we have a technical difficulties. So hopefully you're always with me every Wednesday night. So take care of yourselves. Don't forget to spay and neuter your animals. your household pets. So love, peace, and joy. And we're going to end up with the Masaka kids because we need inspiration. We need spiritual inspiration, and this song will lift you up. So thank you, Masaka kids, again for lifting us today. God bless you all. See you soon. Bye.
Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikolana buso wami awukolana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikolana buso wami awukolana Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikayalami